Hi guys, today we're looking at a Pentax Optio WG2. I bought this several years ago, and this has a 5x optical zoom. It cost me $300. Right now on eBay they're worth about $50, and this one's in excellent condition. The personal significance of this is I use this for time-lapse video all the time. It does an excellent job of time-lapse, and it's waterproof, so frequently I have put this on the roof of the house to watch storms roll in. It's really handy for that. Also, when I've been on a couple of cruises, I've strapped it to the side of the ship to do time-lapse of the ships coming into port, leaving port, and indeed one time having terrific view out the side of the ship while clouds rolled along the shores of Alaska. It has some wonderful macro capabilities. You can almost set it right on its face and focus on something that's at this level. And it has built-in LED lights around the lens to help you do that. These were made in 2012. Following the success of the first GoPros, Pentax and other manufacturers started offering these rugged cameras. This is waterproof to 39 feet or 12 meters for 2 hours underwater. It's shockproof for dropping it from 5 feet onto cement or 1.5 meters. It's freeze-proof to 14 degrees Fahrenheit or -10 Celsius. And it's crush-proof to 220 pounds or 100 kilograms, so you can step on it. It takes 1080p video at 30 frames per second, and it's a 16 megapixel sensor. It has a 3-inch LCD display on the back, and it comes standard with this carabiner strap, which normally I wouldn't use something like this, but again, I've taken lots of pictures on the roof, so I can strap this to my belt loop and climb up on the roof on the ladder with the tripod and not have to worry about it falling. It can do face detection, it can detect pets, and it also can do smile capture mode, where you trigger the shutter and then it doesn't go off until you actually smile. It's kind of neat for a fairly old camera. On the front we have this 5x optical zoom lens. The 35 millimeter equivalent is 28 millimeter to 140 millimeter. This is the standard flash if you're taking flash exposures. It can be an auto flash motor turned off. It has a speaker and a microphone on the front. And this is the self timer assist light. And then these 6 little LEDs around the center are for taking macro shots. And if I turn it on in macro mode, on the top you only have a power switch and the shutter release. So this is the power switch. So now that it's turned on, these are the different modes here. So if I select mode and move this over to microscope mode, then it automatically turns on these 6 LEDs for taking pictures very close up. So for instance, here's a nickel. And I'm going to turn on the timer too to give me a 2-second delay. So if I focus on "In God We Trust" here, and again, the reason I turned on the 2-second delay was so that I wouldn't be shaking as I pressed the shutter release, which is fairly easy to do on this camera. And if I just set it completely face down on the nickel and try to focus, you can see it actually attains a pretty good focus. It's a little washed out because it's a little too bright all the way down. On the camera bottom, let me turn this off. On the camera bottom, we have a tripod socket, and on the opposite side, that's the access door to get at the SD card and the battery. So it's got a little spring-loaded lock on it, again because it's waterproof, so you push that lock to to the front and then push sideways, and that opens the cover, and you can get at the SD card and the battery. Here's the SD card, and again you put the face towards the front of the camera, and this is the little battery. It's not a very big battery, it's not a long-lasting battery, it is what it is. This is the battery charger that comes with the camera. I could take the cord off, but I never do. And when you stick it in here and charge it, the amber light will come on while it's charging, and then when the amber light goes off, it's fully charged. So if I stick that battery back in, and you push hard to snap this unit to the side, again because it's waterproof. This side has a little clasp to hold the carabiner strap. And this side has an access cover for a PC-AV terminal and a mini or micro HDMI terminal port. So you can hook this to your television. It's got a lock, a spring-loaded lock, so you push the little lock this way, and then you have to slide the cover out and then pivot it up. So there's your access to the two ports. It's complex because it's waterproof. Now on the back we have our 3-inch display. This is a zoom lever for zooming in. And again, I can focus on the wood of this bench, so I could take a picture here. I should probably turn on my timer. And that took a picture of the bench. At any rate, that's the zoom toggle. I could zoom way in or zoom way out. Again, if I had this nickel here, there's the "We" for "In God We Trust." So that's the zoom. This is the playback button. So if we wanted to look at that last picture, and then we could zoom in on that last picture, which is kind of hard to see since it's already so huge. And this is the 4-way controller. And up is to set the timers. You can set no timer, a 10-second timer, or a 2-second timer. To the right is to select macro modes. To the left is to turn your flash on or off or automatic. And down is the mode button, which I use a lot. Over here is a menu button for your different settings. And then this is the face button, which is kind of interesting. If I put this back into a normal mode, then you'll see the little indicator for face shows that I'm in face detection mode. If I press face again, it's in smile capture mode. If I press it again, it's in self-portrait assist, so you can turn around and take your own picture. And then, come on. And then finally, face detection is turned off. I usually just leave it turned on. And then down here is a delete button, and it's called a green button, and it can be set for different functions, which you have to read about in the instruction manual. Now the modes are actually pretty cool. So this is the totally automatic mode where it tries to examine the scene and determine what kind of a picture it is you're taking and do the right exposure. This is your normal P mode or program mode for basic shooting. And the nice thing is you get an English explanation of all of these different modes. This is night scene. This is handheld night snap. Minimizes camera shake, it says. This is movie mode. This is underwater pictures. This is underwater movies. And this is the microscope mode. This is landscapes and flowers and portraits. And here's the interval timer, which I use all the time. So I'll jump into that. Also, just to the right of that is the interval timer for movies. The only difference between the two is it's the same settings, except in the one, in this case, this would take 1,000 pictures. That's the maximum. So you can go from 1 to 1,000. And then you can set the minutes and seconds between each exposure, which right now I have it set to 17 seconds between each exposure. And then you can set the delay time. The last time I used it outside, I had it set for a 5-hour delay before it started taking 1,000 pictures. If I was in that movie mode, it has the same settings, except instead of returning 1,000 pictures, it would return a movie of those 1,000 pictures. All right. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.